What if I told you that the greatest running back of all time retired in his prime, just a handful of yards shy of the all-time rushing record? This isn't a hypothetical question. This is the story of Barry Sanders, the most elusive, most electrifying, and most enigmatic player to ever grace a football field. From the moment he first touched the ball, it was clear Barry Sanders was different. Growing up in Wichita, Kansas, he was the seventh of 11 children. He was quiet, humble, and by all accounts undersized for a running back. In high school, he spent his first 2 years on the bench, playing second fiddle to his own brother. But when he finally got his chance as a senior, he exploded, rushing for over 1,000 yards in just 7 games. It was a sign of things to come, a small tremor before the earthquake. Despite his high school success, the big-time college programs weren't exactly breaking down his door. He ended up at Oklahoma State University, a place that would become the canvas for his first masterpiece. For 2 years, he was again a backup, this time to the legendary Thurman Thomas. But in 1988, with Thomas gone to the NFL, the stage was finally his. And what he did that year is still the stuff of legend. It's considered by many to be the single greatest season in college football history. Sanders rushed for an NCAA record 2,628 yards. He scored 37 rushing touchdowns, another record. He averaged an insane 7.6 yards per carry. He had 4 games with over 300 yards rushing. He wasn't just running, he was dancing, weaving, and teleporting through defenses. Defenders would have him dead to rights, only to be left grasping at air as he spun away with a move that defied physics. He was a human highlight reel, a video game character brought to life. He single-handedly carried Oklahoma State to a 10-2 record and, of course, won the Heisman Trophy in a landslide. It was a season so dominant, so jaw-dropping, that it cemented his place as a college football immortal. With nothing left to prove in college, Barry declared for the 1989 NFL Draft. The Detroit Lions, a team desperate for a star, selected him with the 3rd overall pick. And from his very first game, the NFL knew it had a problem. He didn't look like a typical NFL running back. At 5'8" and 200 pounds, he was built low to the ground, with a center of gravity that seemed to be somewhere beneath the turf. This unique build, combined with his unparalleled vision and instincts, made him nearly impossible to tackle. His running style was a paradox. He was patient, yet explosive. He would often lose yards on a play, probing the line, looking for a crease that only he could see. Fans and coaches would hold their breath. Was he going to be tackled for a loss? And then suddenly, a cut, a spin, a burst of speed, and he was gone. A 10-yard loss would turn into a 50-yard touchdown. He turned football into an art form. Every run was an improvisation, a beautiful, chaotic dance between him and 11 defenders. He was a jazz musician on a field of classical players. For 10 seasons, Barry Sanders was the heart and soul of the Detroit Lions. He was the reason people watched. He was the reason the stadium was full. Even on a team that rarely found postseason success, Barry was a constant, a weekly dose of magic. He rushed for over 1,000 yards in every single one of his 10 seasons, the first player in history to do so. In 1997, he had one of the most incredible seasons ever, rushing for 2,053 yards. He did it by running for over 100 yards in each of the final 14 games of the season, a feat of consistency and brilliance that may never be matched. He became a walking highlight, a collection of impossible runs that still get replayed today. There was the spin move that left future Hall of Famer Rod Woodson spinning in circles. The time he reversed field against the Patriots, making half the defense miss before gliding into the end zone. He made the best defenders in the world look like they were playing on ice. But just as impressive as his on-field genius was his off-field demeanor. In an era of increasing showmanship and trash talk, Barry was the silent superstar. After a spectacular touchdown run that would have other players dancing for minutes, Barry would simply find the nearest official, hand him the ball, and jog back to the sideline. No celebration, no pointing to the sky, just quiet, humble professionalism. He let his game do the talking, and it spoke volumes. This humility only made fans love him more. He was a superstar without an ego, a rare and refreshing combination. Then, on the eve of the 1999 training camp, the unthinkable happened. Barry Sanders, at the age of 31 and seemingly still at the peak of his powers, abruptly retired. He was just 457 yards shy of Walter Payton's all-time NFL rushing record, a mark he was on pace to shatter. The football world was stunned. He didn't hold a press conference. He didn't make a big announcement. He simply faxed a letter to his hometown newspaper in Wichita, stating that his desire to play had faded. The reasons were complex. He was tired of the losing culture in Detroit. He felt the team wasn't committed to building a Super Bowl contender, and he didn't want to just play for personal records. For Barry, it was always about the love of the game and the pursuit of a championship. When that hope disappeared, so did his motivation. The man who never sought the spotlight simply walked away from it, on his own terms. It was the most Barry Sanders thing he could have possibly done. His retirement remains one of the most debated what-ifs in sports history. How many more yards would he have rushed for? Would he be the undisputed rushing king today? We'll never know. But in a way, his sudden exit perfectly encapsulates his career. He was elusive, unpredictable, and ultimately, impossible to pin down. He came and went like a flash of lightning, leaving an indelible mark on everyone who saw him play. Today, Barry Sanders is a revered figure, a legend whose mystique has only grown over time. He was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2004, his legacy secure. His career wasn't defined by Super Bowl rings or longevity, but by pure, unadulterated talent and the joy he brought to the game. He showed us that greatness isn't just measured in stats or trophies, but in the moments that take your breath away. He was a once-in-a-lifetime player, an artist who used the gridiron as his canvas. He was and always will be the elusive genius. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this look back at a true football icon, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more stories about the greatest athletes in history. We'll see you next time.